Hi, this is Dee at Aloha Astro. Let's take a look at the forecast for today. With the moon transiting Pisces, Saturday, September 6th, increases the intensity of your thoughts and emotions in response to the almost full moon, highlighting the condition of uncertainty, paired with the potential for almost any possibility, as the moon in a mutable water sign associated with spirituality and the all that is, forms a T-square aspect pattern with Uranus in Gemini and Mercury in Virgo, as well as a sextile aspect with Chiron in Aries, while the Sun in Virgo conjunct Mercury in Virgo engage in a pressure-producing Thor's hammer aspect pattern with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius and Chiron retrograde in Aries, bringing a damned if you do, damned if you don't mentality to your thought process. The way out of uncomfortable thoughts and feelings is to go within and create calm in the midst of uncertainty. And the minor grand trine, consisting of Uranus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius, and Saturn retrograde in Aries conjunct Neptune retrograde in Pisces, will help you remember that you and the universe are one, and you are capable of so much more than you or others might think when you acknowledge your divinity, uniqueness, and power. Your role in a relationship, or how to navigate relationships in general, could be a major area of uncertainty at this time. Chiron in Aries square to Pluto and in a T-square with Jupiter in Cancer and Mars in Libra, while Mars is sextile to Venus in Leo, activates the mirroring phenomenon. If you are seeing something you don't like in another, dig deep into why you don't. You might discover your own denial. And if you would like a better relationship with someone, focus on having a better relationship with yourself. As the moon waxes toward full today, examine what comes up in contemplation, introspection, or meditation, and you will intuitively sense where to direct or accept healing energy, while you will become comfortable with the isness of you, the present, and the unknown future. So here we have the moon just coming out of Aquarius this morning and entering Pisces, which is kind of like being on the runway now for takeoff with the full moon tomorrow and that lunar eclipse. We have a recent changeover with Saturn moving out of Aries back into Pisces, and that kind of, it's like being caught up, as we were getting forward motion with both Saturn and Neptune conjunct in Aries, focusing more on the self. Now we've kind of lost some momentum with the retrograde of those two planets. Plus we now have Saturn, which is a planet of reality check, duty, responsibility, authority, and mastery. It slipped back into Pisces. Maybe there is something that we forgot to bring with us that is either from the past or we didn't heal something from the past, but it is time to delve back into some of that Piscean energy. And maybe you've been too much in your head. That could be part of it. When we consider that Aries does rule the head and is very focused on the self, whereas the Pisces energy is boundaryless and is connected with the all that is energy, goes into the darkness and the yin, and is much more about the nebulousness, about looking at your sea of infinite potential. And while we have that full moon, which will be occurring tomorrow, conjunct the North Node in Pisces, we're going to have a focus on path and purpose, lessons learned, lessons yet to be learned, the karmic connection in our relationships, and then the discernment of Virgo and the examination, observation, determining what is capable, what are we capable of being able to utilize and actually do. We have the energy of beingness with Pisces right now, with the moon, North Node, Saturn, and Neptune, Well, Neptune's still in Aries, but it's tagging along here with Saturn in Pisces. And then we have the Virgo opposite side of things. And within opposing signs, there's always a lesson in finding the balance between the two. That within every Virgo person or Virgo time period, the opposite side, the Pisces side, is meant to come into view. And right now we do have outer planets as well as the moon highlighting some of that Piscean energy. So we have those two opposing signs with the matters of beingness versus doingness, or where we take things from the formless and bring it into the form. The practical, pragmatic energy of Virgo and the inspirational and uplifting, but not always realistic energy of Pisces. That is where we dream bigger and reach higher. And then Virgo says, okay, how do we do this? How do we actually make it happen? I also think at this time, it's about getting unstuck. And like if you want to be more or you want to have more, then you're going to have to project yourself into that space or rise up to that energy. Maybe you will have to align with people or places that, or even things that represent that energy or are vibrating to that frequency to help lift you up. Everything does kind of condense down to Venus and Leo right now, which is about the courage to follow your heart. And this sesqui-square that we have between Venus and Leo and Neptune in Aries is definitely helping you intuit what it is that you truly desire. And it may come through figuring out what you really do not want. And some of that comes out of this T-square. But as you examine what you do not want, while Chiron is opposing Mars in Libra and squaring Jupiter in Cancer, there's a lot of relationship and symbiosis in this T-square. So you may be looking with that cardinal kind of judgy energy that cardinal signs can hold. Take a look inside yourself, because that's what Chiron retrograde in Aries is saying. Like, well, why have you attracted these relationships or these problems in relationship or these type of people that seem to keep repeating in your life? Why is this going on? It has to be something deep down inside you that is also magnetizing that. This is the perfect example of the expression, it takes two to tango, that it is not just them, nor is it all just you. It is a combination of the two, but there's a reason why this is happening. There is a reason behind the connection of energy between you and another person. And if you're afraid of the growth, or you're afraid of the depth of intimacy and sharing, maybe you are subconsciously bringing up issues or problems that have nothing to do with the other person and have something to do with you. So with Jupiter in Cancer, you can ask yourself, why are you afraid of the growth? Why are you afraid of sharing? And what actions do you want to take? Not all relationships are good or meant to grow or in need of healing right now, but definitely it's time to examine them and think about yourself and why you are in it, why this person is in your life, what are you meant to do with that, and then either step in further, or if you determine that this is not healthy, not good, then break a pattern and remove yourself. changing your potential future is so very easy right now, but sticking to the thing that you are aiming for is not, because there are probably too many different options open to you at the moment. And the answer may come down to, who do you want to be with? Because that is something that I focused on in yesterday's forecast that was highlighted. But this T-square, which is mutable, which means flexible, adaptable, is basically being controlled by Uranus, a planet of change in the future, in Gemini, which is a Mercury-ruled sign. And here we have Mercury involved in the T-square. Mercury happens to rule Virgo, also mutable. So we have a lot of thought going on, and we're probably getting a lot of communication, input, and data that we have to sift through and figure out, well, which is the best option? What should I do? Where should I go? This one sextile really does point more to where does your heart belong right now? With who? And that might help you figure out the where and the how. You have to follow your heart. It will probably lead you into examining the people in your life and the people that you want to be with, or a particular person that you might want to be with. And that might be where the challenge of personal growth is, in the sharing of your energy with that person. And there are most likely lessons to be learned in that have to do with breaking old patterns that you are carrying in yourself that you might not even be aware of, where you have been perpetuating your past pain and hurt. And you are either carrying it forward into things because it's a past pattern, a habit. There's that South Node with the Sun and Mercury in Virgo. Virgo rules the sixth house, and that has a lot to do with habits and things that we do routinely, and our health on the physical and mental, spiritual, emotional level. And this Thor's hammer with Pluto retrograde and Chiron retrograde, part of the problem might be, how have you been doing things to just follow society or what everybody else says you should do? Are you caring too much about what other people think or say about you, and not listening to yourself? And there's the kind of, well, I'm damned if I do or I'm damned if I don't. And if you're at that crossroads with this Thor's hammer, just know that if you choose what everybody else wants you to do, I can pretty much guarantee you're not going to be happy. That basically you have to first be choosing the situations, the people, the conditions that make you happy, and then you'd be sharing your happiness with others. If you're going to suppress all of that and negate yourself and deny yourself to go and be with the group or be with another individual who wants you to conform and be a certain way, or keep up your old habitual patterns of dysfunction, then you are not going to be a happy person. And this eclipse and full moon tomorrow may reveal a lot of your unconscious stuff, and you're getting a little taste of it now. Pretty much what you see here is going to be going on tomorrow too. The only difference will be that the moon has moved to join the North Node. So I could basically repost this for tomorrow. I may just go in deeper into what Pisces and Virgo energy is all about tomorrow and look at how the different signs might be affected in whatever areas of life those the sun and the moon will be affecting. But in the meantime, sit still today and really look at everything that's bubbling up. We have early degrees of the moon, early degree of Uranus, early degree of Mercury, You're not meant to know it all or see it all right now. You are not required to make a decision right now, but you are meant to be tuning the dial and stirring stuff up and seeing what rises to the top. Take care, stay safe, enjoy your day, and I'll be back again tomorrow.